There's something you do 300 times a day that steals 6 hours of your life, and you probably did that at least once in the last 4 minutes. Research shows that every 4 minutes of your waking life, you reach for your phone, and each interruption costs you 23 minutes to fully refocus. I used to be part of that statistic. My brain was like a browser with 37 tabs open, 6 of them playing music, and I'll be sat there wondering why I felt busy but never accomplished anything meaningful. And if you're watching this at 2 in the morning because you can't focus during the day, yeah, you are just me from 2019. But that's okay. Your brain isn't broken. You're just running corrupted software that a trillion-dollar industry has designed to hijack your attention. And in the next 18 minutes, I'll give you the exact system that went from me checking my phone 300 times a day to me being able to do 4-hour deep work sessions. And more importantly, from being someone controlled by distractions to someone who chooses their focus. Look, I'm not going to waste your time with theory. In this video, I'll teach you a practical, battle-tested framework called Diagnose, Detox, Design. Because every day you don't fix this, you're losing irreplaceable hours of your most productive years. Let's start getting them back. Chapter 1. The Diagnosis. Here's how deep the problem goes. Research shows we're switching between screens faster than ever. Back in 2004, we would stay on a single screen for around 3 minutes. In 2012, that dropped to 1 minute. And today, we are switching screens in just 47 seconds before jumping to something else. And while you've probably heard that goldfish have longer attention spans than humans, that's actually a complete myth. Nobody's ever measured a goldfish's attention span. But what's really happening is you're fighting a trillion-dollar industry designed by teams of PhDs whose entire job is to hack your brain. So don't be too hard on yourself. Your brain is doing exactly what it's been hacked to do. Here are the 3 hidden systems destroying your focus. System 1. The dopamine slot machine. That phone in your pocket isn't a tool, it's an entire Vegas casino. Every notification is like pulling a slot machine lever. Sometimes you get nothing, like spam email. Sometimes you hit the jackpot, like a text from your crush. This unpredictable reward pattern is called variable ratio reinforcement, and it's the most addictive behavioral mechanism known to psychology. It's the same system that makes gambling so compelling. Your brain gets a massive dopamine hit, not from the reward itself, but from not knowing what's coming next. That uncertainty creates craving. Your brain starts checking your phone not because you need to, but because you might get that next hit. You're literally carrying a casino designed to hijack your reward system. System 2. The context-switching tax. Do you pride yourself on doing multiple tasks at the same time? I'm sure you feel like you're good at it. Most high achievers do. But here's the uncomfortable truth. You're not multitasking, you're fracturing your cognitive capacity. Because every time you switch tasks, you lose up to 40% of your brain's capacity. It's called the switching penalty, and you're paying it hundreds of times per day. You're not multitasking, you're fractional tasking. Your brain is literally running at 60% efficiency all day long. Think about it. You're trying to write an email while a podcast plays, while checking Slack, while planning dinner. Your brain is doing mental parkour and it's exhausted. But here's where it gets really interesting. Even when you fix the phone addiction and stop multitasking, you might still hit a wall. And that's because of the third system, the hypervigilance trap. Sometimes your nervous system is stuck in permanent threat detection mode. You know that feeling when you finally sit down to focus and your body goes, absolutely not. This feels suspicious. We don't do calm here. Your nervous system is basically that one friend who thinks every text that says we need to talk means you're about to get dumped, fired, and audited by the IRS all at once. Because back on the plains of the savannah, if you sat still doing nothing, you'd end up being eaten by a lion. Your brain doesn't freak out when you're watching Netflix, that's passive consumption. But the moment you sit down to write, study, or do deep work focusing on something, your nervous system goes into overdrive because focused mental effort feels vulnerable. So let's test this out right now. Seriously, pause the video and do this. Set your phone's timer to 30 minutes and place it in another room. And now pick a single task to focus on. Watch what happens to your brain. Around minute 2, your hand will start twitching toward your pocket. By minute 5, you'll be thinking, what if there's an emergency? At around minute 8, you'll suddenly remember something urgent you need to Google. do penguins get cold becomes a matter of life and death. Your brain will genuinely convince you that humanity's survival depends on knowing this right now. By minute 12, physical restlessness kicks in. You'll start fidgeting, maybe tapping your foot. And by minute 15, your brain starts bargaining with you. Just a quick check. If you made it to 30 minutes, congratulations, you're in the top 5%. If you didn't, welcome to the club. You're not weak, you're just well-trained by a system designed to fragment your attention. Chapter 2, the Detox, Strategic System Reset. Now that you understand why your brain's broken, here's how you fix it. Forget those extreme 48-hour dopamine fasts, they don't work long-term. You need strategic rebalancing, and we'll do that in 3 phases. Phase 1. The Gradual Dopamine Recalibration. We'll run this phase over 3 weeks. Week 1 is called the Single Source Strategy. I want you to pick your one biggest dopamine bomb. Maybe it's Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, or compulsive news checking, just one. Here's the protocol, and it's based on something called variable ratio reinforcement. First, on your phone, set a timer for 15 minutes. Not 10, not 20. 15 is the sweet spot. Then consume your chosen chaos consciously. Don't multitask. Enjoy your dopamine hit. If you're watching TikTok, just watch TikTok guilt-free. At 15 minutes, when the timer goes off, you stop mid-video, no exceptions. And then you track your wins. If you stop when the timer goes off 5 out of 7 days this week, that's success. You're not aiming for perfection. Remember, you're not eliminating anything from your life. It's important that your brain doesn't feel deprived. All you're doing is shifting from unconscious consumption to intentional choice. This helps your brain learn that dopamine has boundaries, which actually makes it more satisfying. Now in week 2, we'll do the boring buffer technique. Your brain usually goes from craving and then to immediate consumption. You want to watch TikTok? You immediately watch TikTok. But now that you've learned to contain your biggest dopamine source to a 15-minute interval, we're going to train your nervous system to handle the space between craving and consumption. Before accessing your 15-minute dopamine window, I want you to insert a 5-minute brain cleanser. In these 5 minutes, I want you to actively seek out boredom. Here are a few suggestions. Either take a walk without podcasts and notice 5 specific things you see. Or do a single task, like washing one dish, while focusing only on the water temperature and soap texture. Or you could also try visual scanning, like stare outside your window for 5 minutes while counting moving objects. What you'll notice is interesting. In the first few days, that buffer will feel torturous. By day 5, it starts feeling neutral. And by day 7, it actually feels good. That's your baseline arousal level dropping. You're literally rewiring your nervous system to find calm, rewarding instead of threatening. You're teaching your brain that it's okay to do nothing. Now on to week 3. This is called the Stimulation Sandwich. Now that your brain can handle delayed gratification, and since it finds stillness less threatening, it's now time to weaponize your progress for actual productivity. You're upgrading your new skills into what psychologists call temptation bundling, and basically using your reformed dopamine system to work for you rather than against you. Here's what I want you to do in week 3. Remember that 5-minute brain cleanser from week 2? We're going to use that same technique, but now it becomes your pre-work warm-up. So you do your 5 minutes of active boredom first. This gets your brain ready for focus. Once you've done your active boredom, you sit down and do 25 minutes of deep work. But here's the key, and this is important. I want you to start with something easy. Pick a task you know you can finish. Your brain needs that early win to build momentum. After your 25-minute session, you get your reward, that same 15-minute dopamine window from week 1. But now it feels different. You earned it. It's fuel, not just mindless scrolling. And here's how we trick our brain. Don't reward yourself every single time. This week, only reward yourself 6 out of 10 sessions. Your brain will start craving the work itself because it doesn't know when the reward is coming. It's like a slot machine, but you're training yourself to love focus instead of distraction. It's funny that one part of our brain is trying to trick another part of our brain into doing something. Now on to phase 2. This is called environmental surgery. Here's something most people get completely wrong about focus. They think it's all about willpower. I just need to try harder. But your environment, the things around you, is either supporting your focus or sabotaging it every single second. There's no neutral. Think about it this way. If you're trying to eat healthy but your kitchen is full of junk food, you're fighting an uphill battle. Same thing with focus. If your workspace is chaos, your brain will be chaos. And let's be honest, most of our workspaces look like a hurricane hit a Best Buy. You've got charging cables from 2015, 3 different coffee mugs, and somehow a sock. Why is there always a random sock? Your brain uses environmental cues to determine what mode it should be in. If you work, eat, watch Netflix, and scroll TikTok all in the same space, your brain never knows what mode it should be in. You know how a church feels different to a hospital, which feels different to a school. Your brain is trained to feel that way in those places. Same concept. I want you to create what I call a sacred space. Even if it's just a corner of your room, make it exclusively for deep work. Keep it simple. 0 entertainment devices, 1 notebook, 1 pen, and some visual cue that signals focus mode, like a special lamp or specific music. Think of it like John Wick prepping for a mission. 1 objective, 0 distractions, and that little Vegas casino in your pocket should be in a different room. I already know what objections you'll have, but what if there's an emergency? Here's the reality. True emergencies are incredibly rare, and anyone who really needs you will call twice or find another way to reach you. Your brain just thinks checking if someone liked your Instagram story from 2019 counts as emergency preparedness. If you absolutely can't put it in another room, you need these barriers. Airplane mode with Wi-Fi off, apps that block everything for set periods, or even a physical lockbox. The goal isn't to become a monk. It's to give your brain clear signals about when it's time to focus versus when it's time to be entertained. On to phase 3, I call it nervous system regulation. Your brain has 2 modes, fight or flight. Your brain thinks checking email is the same as being chased by a lion. So when you try to focus, your nervous system goes, "Are you insane? This is not the time to be calm." But like we've been seeing, it's not just the PhDs who can hack our brain, we can do it too. We have something called a vagus nerve, which is like the main switch between these 2 modes, and there are specific ways to flip that switch. When you are in fight mode, the fastest way to calm down is to put your hands in cold water for 30 seconds. It sounds weird, but you're literally activating your vagus nerve and telling your nervous system, "Hey, we're safe now." It's like you've jumped into the river while running away from the lion. You can also control this through breathing. Here's why. When you're stressed, your breathing gets shallow and fast. When you're calm, it's deep and slow. So you can reverse engineer calmness by breathing like you're already calm. Try this. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7 counts, exhale for 8 counts, then repeat 4 times. You're manually shifting from fight or flight to rest and digest. And here's something most people don't realize. Your body and brain are connected in ways that seem almost magical. Your body was designed to move, not sit in a chair staring at screens for 8 hours. So when you move, even tiny movements, you're literally changing your brain chemistry. This is why it's hard to start a walk, but once you've started walking, you don't mind walking for 30 minutes. Some might call it starting trouble, but it's the same thing. Physical movement creates mental clarity. When you're stuck on a problem, move your body. I know it sounds simple, but the solution will come. It's not just a saying, it's literally neuroscience. Chapter 3. The Design. Building unshakable focus. If you've been following along, your brain is probably already starting to feel different. Maybe you're noticing how many times you've wanted to check your phone during this video. That's actually a good sign. Awareness is the first step to change. Now that we have all our tools and we've been training like Rocky for the past 3 weeks, it's time to stop playing defense and start building better focus. Let's upgrade our focus from economy to first class. Here's what's coming. First, I'll show you the exact 3-level system to build your focus progressively. Then we'll talk about the psychology that makes it stick long-term. We're about to turn you into a focus machine. Level 1, the attention gym. Focus is like a muscle. You wouldn't walk into the gym on day 1 and try to deadlift 300 pounds, right? You'd probably end up in the hospital or at least very embarrassed on the internet. We need to train from ground zero. So let's start with level 1 of training our brain for superpower. The goal of level 1 is to notice what's happening. I want you to start with 15-minute focus blocks. Start your timer, choose one task, and when your mind wanders, and it will, notice and redirect. That moment of noticing and returning is 1 rep. I don't want you to fight the wandering mind. I want you to train it. Each time you catch yourself and come back, you're building mental muscle. Actually, let's test this right now. For the next 30 seconds, I want you to focus on just one thing. Maybe it's my voice or a spot on the wall. Notice when your mind wanders and bring it back. Ready? Go. How many times did your mind drift? That's your baseline. And now it's time for level 2, the flow state formula. Have you heard people say, "I'm in the flow"? That's exactly what I'm going to teach you. Once those 15 minutes from level 1 feels easy, let's extend to 25 to 45 minutes using my formula. For each block, you need a clear objective. You need to know exactly what you're doing and when you'll be done with that task. Make sure it's an appropriate challenge, not too easy and not impossible. And set up immediate feedback so you can see progress in real time. You're creating what psychologists call flow state. It's this magical zone where hours feel like minutes and your best work happens without effort. Once we've nailed flow state, it's time to amp it up to deep work sessions. This is level 3. Eventually, you'll build up those 45-minute sessions to 2 to 4 hour sessions. That's where breakthrough thinking happens. That's where you begin to solve complex problems and create your most valuable work. But here's the secret. It's not really about forcing longer sessions. You're building that ability gradually, like you're training for a marathon. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. Every focus session isn't just about getting work done. It's about proving to yourself who you are. Someone who honors their own time. Someone who can be fully present. Someone who creates rather than just consumes. Chapter 4. The implementation. Your 30-day focus recovery plan. Let's put it all together with your complete roadmap. Week 1 to 3. This is when you run the reality check and then execute the 3-week detox protocol. Make sure you set up your sacred space and learn the nervous system regulation techniques. From week 4 onwards, build your focus muscle. Start with 15-minute focus sessions using everything you've learned. Progress gradually to longer sessions as your mental muscle grows. Now, here's what to do when things go wrong, and they will go wrong. When you completely fall off track, don't shame spiral. We've all been there. One minute you're crushing your focus session, the next minute you're somehow watching a 47-minute documentary about how they make those tiny spoons for ice cream samples. Just do one 5-minute focus session to rebuild momentum. That's it. You're not starting over, you're getting back on track. And when you hit a plateau, change something. Move to a different environment, try a different type of task, add some movement, or maybe you just need more recovery time. Your focus revolution starts now. Look, you're going to have bad days. Days where you check Instagram 47 times and accomplish nothing meaningful. Days where your most productive achievement is successfully avoiding that one work email that makes your soul leave your body just thinking about it. That's not failure, that's being human. The difference is what you do next. Do you spiral into shame and give up? Or do you treat it as data, adjust your system, and get back to building? Your brain wants to focus. It's literally designed for deep work and complex thinking. You've just been running corrupted software for so long, you forgot what the original program could do. Here's your mission for the next 24 hours. Pick one technique from this video, set a timer, and try it. Then notice what happens without judgment. That's it. Don't try to implement everything at once. Small, consistent action beats grand plans every time. Your future self, the one who can think deeply, create meaningful work, and be fully present with the people you love, is waiting for you to take the first step. Look, this is a brand new channel, but I care deeply about productivity and sharing what actually works, not just what sounds good in theory. If this helped you figure out even one thing about getting your focus back, that's exactly why I'm doing this. Hit subscribe if you want more deep dives like this one, because I've got a lot more to share. And tell me in the comments, what's the one thing you're going to try first? Also, I've got a free focus recovery toolkit with templates for everything we covered. Link in the description. Let's figure this out together.